The year is 2560 BC. The sun burns above the Giza Plateau, and the air is filled with dust from a civilization attempting something almost impossible. A pyramid taller than any human structure on Earth is rising from the sand, and inside this giant monument a mystery is waiting. But before we chase legends, we need to ask a harder question. What do we actually know? Because the Great Pyramid is not a blank mystery box. It contains rooms, corridors, and engineering decisions that reveal a much more human story. The pyramid was built for Khufu, a king of ancient Egypt's 4th dynasty. But here is where the story becomes complicated. The image of Khufu himself is surprisingly rare. The most famous surviving three-dimensional representation of him is a tiny ivory statue, small enough to fit in your hand. A ruler who built the largest pyramid on Earth left behind almost no personal portrait. And that gap between the monument and the man created thousands of years of speculation. Some theories claim hidden chambers contain lost knowledge or forgotten secrets. But archaeology works differently. Researchers separate physical evidence from stories created later. The first step on that ladder is what we can touch, measure, and verify. The Great Pyramid contains known chambers: the King's Chamber, the Queen's Chamber, and the Grand Gallery. But above the King's Chamber, archaeologists discovered something unusual, a series of relieving chambers designed to reduce pressure from millions of tons of stone above. It was not magic, it was engineering, and this reveals something important about the builders. They were not simply stacking stones, they were solving problems on a scale rarely seen in the ancient world. But another discovery would change the way we looked at the pyramid forever. Deep inside the stone, scientists found evidence of spaces that were invisible from the outside. In 2017, researchers announced the discovery of a large void above the Grand Gallery. The discovery was real, but what that void actually is remains debated. A hidden room? A structural space? Something else? The evidence tells us there is something there. The evidence does not yet tell us its purpose. And this is where history ends and imagination begins. The internet is filled with claims about secret chambers and lost civilizations. But the real story is already fascinating without adding fiction. Because the greatest mystery may not be what is hidden inside the pyramid. It may be how ordinary humans created something that survived thousands of years. And the next clue comes from a discovery made far away from the pyramid itself. In a desert far from the pyramid, archaeologists uncovered a clue that connected the monument to real human lives. Not a legend, not a myth. A document written by someone who was actually there. His name was Mera, and his diary gives us a rare look into the world behind the Great Pyramid. Mera was an inspector who recorded the movement of limestone blocks during Khufu's reign. His notes reveal something unexpected. The pyramid was not built by a mystery force hidden in the shadows. It was built through organization, planning, transportation, and thousands of human decisions. This is the first step on the evidence ladder. Documents created near the time of construction carry more weight than stories created thousands of years later. But the pyramid still holds unanswered questions. Because even with records, we cannot see every decision made by the builders. A monument this large was not only an engineering project, it was a political statement, a religious structure, and a symbol of royal power. Yet one mistake modern storytellers often make is confusing symbolism with proof. A theory can be interesting, But interest is not the same as evidence, and this difference changes everything. Because in 2023, another discovery reopened the conversation. Researchers announced a previously unknown corridor inside the Great Pyramid. The discovery was made using modern scanning technology, not by breaking through ancient walls. The corridor measures several meters long and sits near the pyramid's northern face. But what was it built for? That question remains open. Some researchers suggest structural explanations. Others consider whether it could have had a symbolic or functional purpose. The important point is simple. The discovery exists. The meaning is still being studied. This is where real archaeology becomes fascinating, because the truth is rarely as simple as a movie script. Ancient Egypt was not a world of impossible mysteries. It was a world of skilled workers, engineers, administrators, and craftsmen. Their achievements become even more impressive when we understand the actual human effort behind them. The evidence points toward preparation on an enormous scale, but it also leaves room for questions. How did they coordinate thousands of people so efficiently? How did they move materials across the landscape? And what other secrets might still be hidden in places we have not reached? The pyramid keeps one final lesson buried in its stones. The closer we get to the evidence, the further we move away from the myths. But the biggest question about Khufu may not be inside the pyramid at all. For thousands of years, the Great Pyramid has collected stories from every generation that looked upon it. Some stories searched for hidden technology, others searched for lost civilizations. But archaeology asks a different question. Not what sounds impossible, but what can the evidence actually support? This is the difference between a mystery and a myth. The evidence ladder starts with what we can physically verify. The stones, the chambers, the tools, the inscriptions, and the records left close to the time of construction. Higher on the ladder are interpretations, ideas about meaning, purpose, and symbolism. And at the top are stories created long after the original builders disappeared. Interesting stories can survive for centuries, but survival does not automatically make a story true. The workers who built the pyramid left behind a more powerful story, a story of planning, mathematics, logistics, and human ambition. For years, researchers studied worker settlements near Giza. These discoveries suggest a highly organized workforce, not a random collection of people. The details of who participated and exactly how the workforce was structured are still studied by historians. But the evidence points toward a complex society capable of enormous coordination. And that brings us to the question hidden behind every stone. How did humans thousands of years ago achieve something that still dominates the horizon today? The answer may not be a forgotten secret. It may be something more remarkable. A civilization using the tools, knowledge, and resources available to them at the highest level. The Great Pyramid does not need impossible explanations to be extraordinary. Its real story is already one of the greatest human achievements ever recorded. But there is still one mystery that remains, not whether the pyramid was built by humans. The evidence strongly connects it to human engineering and organization. The mystery is how much more we will discover beneath the stones. Every new scan, every excavation, every forgotten document can change our understanding. History is not a finished book. It is a conversation between the evidence we find and the questions we ask. The Great Pyramid has survived because it was built from stone, but its mystery survived because humans keep searching. And maybe that is the real secret of Khufu. Not a hidden chamber filled with impossible answers, but a monument that continues to challenge what we think ancient humans were capable of. What do you think is the most fascinating part of the Great Pyramid? The engineering, the unanswered chambers, or the human story behind its construction? Share your theory, but keep it evidence-based. The pyramid still has secrets, but another ancient civilization left behind a mystery even stranger. Click the next documentary to uncover the lost evidence history almost forgot.